I was talking to Mike earlier and told him a little story about me test driving this bike, and I'll share it with you. It's kind of corny, but when I moved into Scarsdale, I had all these guys to deal with, right? My mortgage broker and the contractor and my insurance guy. Insurance guy is totally cool. He lives in the neighborhood. He's got kids that go to the schools, and I was like, dude, let's go get beers. And he was never like ready to bro out, you know? He was like, yeah, no, I'm too busy.
Okay.
He never really talked to me that much, even though I'm insuring all my vehicles with him, you know. But the other day he comes by to pick up some plates, and he says, man, that is a cool Indian you've got parked in your driveway. Now all of a sudden he's calling me. He wants to come over. He wants to hang out, you know.
Bros.
He wants to be a bro. And this is like, to me, this is one of the coolest aspects of motorcycling. Like it's beyond just obviously a method of transportation that gets you from A to B, or a lifestyle. It's like really creates a community, and I love the journey that the Indian brand has gone since Polaris took it over. You've also, Mike, really been selling a lot more of these, right? I've seen a lot of stories about the jump in sales for Indian. You're taking market share away from Harley Davidson, and you're becoming like one of the big American players. You are arguably one of the two, right? Tell us about Indian.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and welcome to the Cool Kids Club. I'm glad that you like the bike and you've had some positive experiences with it. It's Indian's on a roll right now for sure. We launched the bike once we purchased the brand in 2011. We came out with our first versions of the Indian in 2013. So really just the last decade, but we've been gaining share really in every market we compete in and most every segment for the 10 years since. And we continue to take share from the big player. But people are thrilled with their bikes. And the Chief is kind of the bike that kind of comes right in the middle. It kind of plugged a gap we had in our product lineup. So now we really have a range of bikes for every type of rider right now.
So to me, the Chief is my favorite. It's the sweet spot of the line because I want a cruiser. I don't need a big bagger, with a full fairing. Although some people, want those for obvious reasons. But the thing that I think sets Indian apart is the success that you've had with the flat tracker, the FTR. It's a 1200, and the success that you've had in flat track racing, which is kind of where Indian made its name. So tell us about that bike and that endeavor.
Yeah, racing goes way back, to the origins of the brand. And when we came back with the brand, we knew that we had to compete and really live up to the performance heritage of the brand. And we've been kind of dominant on the racetrack, in particular the flat track racetrack. We just won our fifth series, and we've got a champion in Jared Meese that I think he's tied for now for the all-time championship. So, we've been winning, dominating on the racetrack, and then we've also been super competitive in the King of the Baggers and the other racing circuits that we do. But the flat track's a great bike. It has global appeal, and a lot of people are loving it right now.
Hey, Mike, who's the prototypical Indian motorcycle buyer?
Good question. Most of the people that buy an Indian, it's not their first motorcycle. They've been around motorcycling for a while. They're experienced. They know what they want. Maybe want a more premium experience, either ownership or riding experience. And so they jump onto the Indians. We sell more of Scout than anything else, so that's our entry into the brand. And then they work their way up over their riding lifestyle to the Chief and ultimately to a Roadmaster or one of our touring or bagger bikes. But experienced, knowledgeable people that are probably looking for a little bit more performance. Our bikes provide more performance.
What's the key to, you think, the growth that you've experienced, the market share you've been able to take? Is it the racing? Is it, just the design and production of the bikes? Is it the dealership network? I've got a very cool dealer by me, Shane at White Plains Indian. He's like obsessed with the brand. What is it you think that's helping you win?
All those things combined, really, it's important, right? You got to honor the brand in the right way. You need to give the consumers a premium ownership and buying experience. Our dealers are first class. I'm glad that you've had a good experience with them. That's normal for us, and we build beautiful motorcycles. The first thing that attracts people to Indian is the style of the bikes. That they look cool, they are cool, and then once they ride them, they appreciate the performance that they have, and once they own them, we have world-class satisfaction scores. So, once you get on one, you kind of stay on one, you convince your buddy to kind of, go check them out. And that's how we've been winning in the marketplace, is word of mouth and, continuing to have world-class satisfaction.
What's the experience like coming out of the pandemic? Because, I think for a lot of people, when we went into lockdown, a lot of people were like, man, I got to get on a motorcycle and get out there. Because you're definitely social distancing, right? Paul,
right.
Paul was on one of those bicycles. What do you call those things?
E-bikes.
No.
What?
The with Jen Sherman and the.
Oh yeah, the Peloton.
The Peloton,
yeah.
Right? But he was doing a lot during the pandemic, and then he's not doing it so much after. Do you have the same experience with motorcycle sales? Did they soar when everyone had a social distance, and had they softened a little bit since?
Yeah, exactly. We couldn't keep enough bikes in stock. It was hard enough trying to keep the factories running, but the demand was through the roof, and so a lot of people had to place orders for them and wait for them to come. That subsided a little bit. We're kind of back to a normal sort of pre-pandemic level. The rising interest rates, makes it a little bit challenging for some customers to finance their bikes, but we're still seeing healthy demand, and we're still gaining market share. So we're in a good spot, but it was a crazy couple of years for sure.